So what's the latest on GSP in terms of a date? Obviously, we were at the Q&A yesterday, and Dana said February, but GSP's manager has actually said that's a little bit too soon. Have you heard anything? What's the latest?
I've not heard anything yet, no. I've only just got back to the States, so I'm planning on hearing at some point in the next couple of weeks kind of what the plan's going to be. But I have no idea. I thought, to be honest, February would be a little too soon. I know GSP's rehabbing his injury, and the extra time would be good for me to kind of get a little extra work in. So I don't mind, but whenever, I don't mind. Whenever the UFC say and whenever GSP is ready to go, we'll do it.
So February is good, but March is better.
Yeah.
Dan, what is the secret to your success, your recent success? People have talked about your record. You kind of came into the UFC and took it by storm. What's the secret?
It's just hard work. It's all it is. I'm not overly athletic. I'm not overly talented. I'm not anything. I shouldn't be where I am in the sport. Really, it's just hard work. That's all it is. It's just getting up every day, putting the time in, and just doing everything I can to be as perfect as I can be.
In terms of preparing for GSP, if it's March, you said you might shift things around in regards to how much time you spend in LA and how much time you spend in Nottingham. What's the plan if it is in March?
Assuming it's in Vegas, then I'll go back to the UK, and as soon as the new year comes, I'm going to start working. I'll start the camp then. I started training yesterday, and I'll train all the way through, but my camp will start at the beginning of the new year. And I'll do probably 2 months and then come out here for the final probably 4 or 5 weeks, and I'll bring my camp with me.
Oh, okay. So are you going to be getting any finishing touches from Freddie Roach or Eddie Bravo?
I don't know. Eddie will be around. I'm going to go and I'll start training with him next week. I'm going to call in to see Freddie Roach as well. I'm sure he's kind of busy at the moment with the Pacquiao storm is blowing over.
At least on paper, it seems like this fight is pretty easy to break down.
Yeah.
You're going to have to basically keep it on the feet, and he's going to want to plant you on your back.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Oh, without a doubt. I don't think anybody's is under the illusion that I'm going to try and out-wrestle GSP. I've got no interest in out-wrestling him, and I've really got no interest in submitting him either, and I think he's aware of that. My intention will be to hit him as many times as I can in the space of 25 minutes, and hopefully connect with that one shot that's going to put him to sleep. And I think it's quite obvious that he's going to be trying to put me on my back as well. He might stand and trade with me for a little bit, but I think as soon as I start to tag him regularly, I think he's going to change his mind.
So he's going to be forced to stand with you?
I don't think he'll be forced to. I think he's he's a very good athlete, and I think he'll have the confidence to stand with me. He might even want to do it to try and prove a point. Obviously, he's expected to win this fight big. I'm a huge underdog, and he's expected to come in here and blast me out the water and not even make it look difficult.
How do you feel about being the massive underdog?
I love it. I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing to lose in this fight at all. I'm expected to lose. I'm expected to be completely outclassed. All I know is I've got to get in there with a solid training camp behind me and just do everything I can to beat him. And regardless of what happens, it doesn't matter, which is going to give me a lot of confidence going into the fight, because I can just throw at him. I can give it 100% in every punch, and when one knocks him out, that's going to shut up a lot of people, and that's what's really going to excite me about it.
I think you fired the first shot of the bow when you said, George St-Pierre is an athlete, and I'm a fighter. That was you, right? What did you mean by that?
He's very good at winning. That's his main focus. His main focus is to get in there and to win the fight, to keep hold of his belt. I like to get in there and put a beating on somebody, and you can see that when I fight. I hit somebody and I catch him clean, and I've got a smile on my face. I enjoy myself in the fight, and I like to make it a fight. And I think that's one thing that George St-Pierre doesn't like to do. I don't think he likes to throw down.
What do you make of his popularity, though? Because he's an insanely popular fighter. Usually, like, the UFC crowd kind of has a sense of who comes to fight and who just comes to win. What do you make of that?
Well, he is a very popular guy, and he's because he's technically brilliant. He's technically very good, and he's exciting to watch because of how good he is. And he's just such a nice guy. People can't dislike him because he's a nice guy. He's too nice, and it does kind of get a little boring. And you pretty much know what he's going to do in these fights. It's a little predictable as well. But he's good at it. You can predict what he's going to do, but he's probably still going to do it because of how good he is. If I can turn it into a brawl with him, the fight's mine all day, because I've got the kind of mentality to go in there and walk through punches so I can land one. And I don't think he's got that mentality.
What would it mean to win the welterweight title after such a short period of time?
It'd be absolutely fantastic. This is what I'm here for. I'm in the sport to win that belt. And regardless of whether it's in my next fight or 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, at some point I'll have the belt. It just so happens that the roll of the dice has allowed me this opportunity early on, and I'm just going to give it everything I've got. And if I walk away with that belt, that is going to be one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. Assuming that I beat him and take the belt off him, the next contender is going to be just as tough. Every fight when you've got the belt is tough. I mean, every fight in the UFC is tough, regardless. You don't get easy opponents in the UFC. Certainly I haven't anyway. And as soon as you get the belt, the target's on your back and everyone's aiming for you. And if I get bored, I can always learn to skate and take up ice hockey.